Yeah, so it is great to be here. It's great to be back in face-to-face conferences post-COVID for sure. What's exciting about audio is that it's a strong growing category, especially when you expand the definition to include broadcast, streaming, and podcasts or on-demand audio. And the fact now that consumers spend more than 4 hours and 10 minutes a day in the United States with audio content, and that we, as a company, Audacy, have content both at the broadcast level and the digital level, has made us stronger than ever. And one of the things that's great is those two items work together. So broadcast delivery allows you to get great reach and frequency in terms of an audience. We have 200 million consumers we reach every month across the United States, and we reach them through our broadcast delivery. But we also have over 60 million digital touch points every month with consumers, and that lower funnel capability that digital brings allows us to serve advertisers across the board, both upper funnel down to lower funnel. And we like to think that audio has now become kind of full service in the advertising industry. And the last point I'd say is ad-supported audio is a booming business. Podcasting happens to be the most recent entry into the sort of ad-supported audio category. Radio's been around for decades, as you know, and streaming has been around for a while. So audio is experiencing somewhat of a renaissance in terms of a platform for advertisers.
That must be because it performs well, but how do you measure performance in audio?
Yeah, so that's the age-old question about advertising generally, right? The famous Wanamaker quote of half my advertising works, I just don't know which half. Probably still holds true to a degree. I think it depends on the objectives of the advertiser. So for direct-to-consumer brands who are really transactionally based, digital brings that kind of that direct connection to a click and an outcome or from e-commerce. But if you're a brand that really needs more awareness and favorability from an upper funnel perspective, they measure on reach, frequency, and longer term metrics around how people feel about their brand and are they aware of a brand. And so what we realize, we need to be competitive in all advertiser needs. So whether an advertiser is focused on a very short-term objective in terms of moving clicks and or sales, or whether they're really focused on a long-term brand building objective, we need solutions in all those places. So between broadcast and digital, audio can deliver in any part of that ecosystem.
What about reaching audience segments or individuals? We hear a lot about targeting, addressability, audience acquisition. How does that work in audio?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So what's fantastic about the digital world is, and radio brands historically, is that, so radio brands, most people can remember their favorite radio station growing up or their favorite radio station now. They have a deep affinity with their favorite radio station or even their favorite radio show, their morning show or afternoon drive show. We're here in New York City. WFAN is a station people have a strong affinity towards. Maybe it's Boomer Esiason in the mornings. And so that engagement as consumers, they often will participate in our stations, whether it's a contest, whether it's emailing or calling, or just reading content or listening to content on our websites. That's allowed us to collect a ton of first-party data, or as people here at this conference are calling it signal. So we have a lot of signals coming in through digital pipes. We now know a tremendous amount about tens of millions of our listeners. So that data has allowed us to inform our full audience buying. So we now know a lot more about specific segments of advertisers, not just demos like zip, age, and gender. So we can go beyond basic demos now and sell cohorts or deeper dive cohorts of advertisers, so of consumers. So for example, we now know much more about detergent heavy households or do-it-yourself households, deeper segments that help advertisers reach a refined segment of the audience.